May the 5th, 2023. Guys, there's two things that are on the horizon for much of the world. We're going to talk about the U.S. now because of the Fed coin and Fed Now. They're walking hand in hand. Fed Now is going to take over in 50-something days. That's going to make your fiat or paper money pretty much useless. We don't know because they will not talk about it, and which seems to be, in my opinion, the number one question that people should be asking. Now, mainstream media and others are starting to ask a few questions. That's amazing, and we're actually down last few days on the border. You need to check that out very closely because that's going to be problems. But the Fed Now, Fed coin situation is coming 50-something days. And Fed Now will have to precede the Fed coin because that Fed Now will be the digital, computer, AI, whatever it will be. That will be the transaction vehicle for Fed coin. Now, Fed Now come into place. And again, the question will be, how will that translate? Say you've got a certain amount of money in the bank, in fiat currency, paper money. And suddenly Fed Now, which is going to come before Fed coin, Fed Now, how will they translate that? Will they say your money is actually no good, or will they take that money, transfer it into a digital account, and let that play out until Fed coin is fully in place? We don't know. That should be the question, though. How will this thing transfer your money into Fed Now? It's coming. No doubt about it. It's going to be here in July. It's 56 days and counting. But to be honest with you, if they don't answer that question, that's when we got to be really concerned. And again, I can't understand why we have not seen one question or answer about the transfer situation. Now, they're going to set up Fed Now. We don't know how your money's going to be handled in order to test their instant money handling. In other words, 99% of the world's transactions can be done in 1 second. It's pretty fast, and 24 hours a day. They're going to come in with the excuse, well, now you don't have to wait. So you get a paycheck in your bank account, and it shows up, but you got to wait a couple of days for it to clear, right? They call them clearing houses. Well, they're saying that will be over with. Well, most people are pretty used to that situation. So they're going to be using a positive note to push this. That's going to be one of the things. You instantly have your money. Transactions are pretty instant. And, we think that it is because you can use your debit card if you got to pay a bill online or something like that, but it still takes a few days. So they're going to push instant transactions to get you under complete control. Now, what will happen? Well, in the Fed Now, if they even give you dollar for dollar as far as transferring your cash to digital coin, they're still implementing the system to control you. Do you want to donate to your church? Well, they'll look at it and say, no, your church doesn't approve abortion, so we can't allow that transaction. Now, they're saying it will be a truly dystopian American future. Everyone always talks about George Orwell's 1984. The Fed's digital-only dollar comes equipped with an on and off switch, thus giving the government virtually unlimited control over our lives. Haven't taken your 15 COVID booster yet? Sorry, we're switching your money off until you get that shot. Trying to buy a book that criticizes the government? Sorry, we're switching off your money until you choose better books. You don't want to switch to electric vehicles? Well, you're not buying but 1 tank of gas a month or a week. Whatever they decide, they want complete control. So they're going to crush the world's people, the citizens like you and I, with the system, they're going to grind it down tighter and tighter every move they make. And Revelation warned us of this. They also told us that as this gets started good, Babylon will fall. But we're going to see it. It is written that you will not be able to buy or sell without the mark. We don't know exactly what the mark will be. I believe it's the belief in the beast system. In other words, the mark in your head is what you think and believe. The mark in your right hand is your work. Do you work? Do you support the beast system? But guys, we got 56 days, and I don't know if you would want to take the chance to see the answer to the question I've asked a couple of times in this video. How will they implement the change from fiat to digital with what you have? And if you don't know that answer, which everybody should be asking, everyone, wait a minute, you're about to change something that's been here for a couple hundred years. I know it was 50-something years ago Nixon decoupled the dollar with the gold, and so the printing presses went wild, and so we've amassed massive debt. And of course, anything that they control, they can fully control it and pay their debts and their foreign policy issues and their money under the table much easier. You'll see trillionaires walking around with their laptops. Now, in this article, and I'll wrap it up here, it says the Fed now isn't exactly a CBDC, but it's the Trojan horse that the CBDC will ride in. Fed now is seen as a step towards eventual rollout of a CBDC. That's what they're talking about. That's what I mentioned in the beginning. The Fed now starts in July. That would be the transition point. That will be the control mechanisms set in place that will use whatever money they allow us to have, or will they completely wipe it out? We don't know. But that will start the system. It will put it in place. Then they're going to drop in the CBDC, or the digital coin. More than likely, you may not ever see a coin. It will be a card, like a credit card, and where they control everything. You have to have that, and you have to behave. You have to prepare. What would you want to do? Would you want to take that money and prepare yourself, or you're going to wait and see what happens? People say invest in gold or silver. It's also biblical that will be thrown in the street, because it will become, and people will realize it was the stumbling block of their iniquity, the love of money, trying to protect that money. What you better do is take the money and protect your family. Now, I know I've harped about this, but it's one of the greatest things that are approaching the wall along with the southern border. And so that's why I'm talking about it. It's important. I don't want to see anybody caught off guard. And if you do, and you've watched this channel for a while, it's your own fault. Look around you. Take what you don't have to have in there. Invest it in food, water filtration, survival supplies, and other things that you can trade and barter with. You won't be able to sell or buy. They're telling you right off the bat. The Bible's doing it, and now the federal government's telling you. And with that full control, you will have no control. So you better do, if you know this storm's coming upon this planet, this nation that we live in, and you sit back and wait for the storm to hit, you're not prepared at all. And all of you that have dealt with massive flooding and hurricanes, you know how quickly, when things change, the stores run out of everything, from plywood to board up your windows to extra water, batteries, gas for your car. You have to prepare, because they're preparing to put you in full captivity. I'm talking about myself too. So don't get caught off guard. Spread this message. Of course, all of my videos are you can share. You'll never get a copyright strike or notice from my channel, ever, because what I'm trying to do is spread information that will help people. The more people that are prepared, the stronger this nation will stand. And save yourself from that initial chaos, the Mad Max situation of everything stopping until everything is transferred into their complete control. Will they take some banking time off during this transaction so that they can move and manipulate what they want to? We'll have to wait and see. They're giving us all roses as far as the story they're telling us. It's not. It's going to be just the opposite of what they say. So think about it. I mentioned in the video yesterday, I think about if you got extra toys laying around. And about toys, I'm talking about anything that you don't need, from an extra vehicle to boats to motorcycles to anything. Convert that into cash or something that you can barter or trade with. Do it now. Don't forget about it in this hustle and bustle that we go through every day. You got 50-something days. This is May 5th, June, and then July hits. So be very careful. Get yourself ready now. It's a heads up, guys. Be safe.